Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy Mayne back with a video. I know I was going to stream today with CBS. We wanted to go over a bunch of stuff we had planned, but just with the carnage that we saw over the last couple of days, I figured better to just do a quick video, kind of giving you my thoughts on what I think might happen next. I'm also going to talk about the move kind of in hindsight, because I'm annoyed I missed it, to be honest with you, and what I think potentially could be the bottom forming here right now. So let's get right into it. I mean, first of all, I'm quite annoyed because I posted this even online on Twitter and Telegram, and I was like, man, I sure hope we're not all getting bullish into a weekly bearish order block after breaking market structure on the weekly. But I was like, surely that's not the case. They wouldn't be so cruel, and it absolutely was. I think what fucked me up is I've been trading this range successfully for the last 4 months. Range low to range high, range low towards range high, range low, bullish again. And when we got this break below and then quick reclaim, and this is when the attempted assassination on Trump happened, it just seemed like, hey, maybe this is, a deviation as opposed to a breakdown. And instead of this being a break in structure, I'm going to look to long the dip on this pullback here. So me, and I feel like a lot of people were longing this. I actually took a couple longs, here and here. But when we came down again, we ran these lows. I was like, okay, we should, probably bounce here if this is going to go. Take out these lows. We're into demand. And I longed once, averaged down, closed it, and nuked further. I tried another long down here yesterday, and I posted this one in Telegram, and I cut it luckily before the carnage. I longed like here. It just was catching no bid. I closed everything, and then I think an hour later it fucking threw up. So I was lucky to get out unscathed. But in hindsight, I mean, I was bullish right into weekly resistance, right? 3-day sweep. We took out last week's high as well, right into that weekly order block, and then just puked. So this should have been short bias the entire way. It is what it is. You're not going to catch every trade. So now, looking at the weekly, I actually think this looks quite good, assuming the weekly closes nicely. So we've already got a nice daily sweep here. So we came into that weekly order block that we had front run on the last dump, took that low out, and it appears, unless something drastic happens, we're going to close nicely above this OB. You already got the daily sweep of the level. So this could be it, right? We could be kind of in one of those, kind of these bull pennants or megaphones or whatever. COVID actually was very similar to this. Can I get the COVID one? Yeah, the COVID one was quite similar. Just, in terms of these pennants, I'm sure you'll see a bunch of people post this fractal, right? Where it's like making lower lows and then eventually it just fucking rips. So it's kind of similar to that. I don't really trade those patterns, as you guys know, but I'm sure you're going to see that on Twitter over the coming days. So that's kind of where it's coming from, in my opinion. But I'm most focused on here. Are we going to close above here this coming weekend? And then will the weekly also be a sweep? Those are kind of the two main things I'm looking at in terms of like holding levels. And then obviously on the bounce side, right, we got to reclaim the range, right? And just like here, I said, hey guys, if we reclaim the range here, I think you target higher. Same thing here. If we're able to get above 59.60 again, I go bull bias and I target the highs. I'm bull bias already, but if we're going to reject, maybe it happens here or it happens here. And then the question becomes, do we do a higher low, right? Like I was hoping for here, or do we reject and actually make a lower low and trade down into 44 or whatever it is? I don't know. So for now, I think this looks good. I'm bull biased. I want to long a pullback. I still think that we make new all-time highs soon. So any sort of huge sell-off, we went down 25% in a few days, right? Like I'm not looking to short. Maybe you short, up 57 to 59K, maybe. But I'm much more interested in saying, okay, where's this pump go to? right? And then look to long some sort of pullback or retest of this area down here if we're that lucky, or if we just reclaim this level, get long. So pretty straightforward. Same with Ethereum. I think Ethereum is weaker. I think that's evident in the chart, and that's evident in ETH BTC. So Bitcoin is effectively trading above these lows structurally, whereas Ethereum traded all the way down to here. Again, similar to Bitcoin, swept this range low, holding above the order block now is great, but Bitcoin, and you can see ETH BTC has been ate a dick. Bitcoin is holding up much stronger. So what you're going to want to watch is ETH BTC and BTC dominance, because if BTC dominance rolls, right? If this rolls, then maybe ETH and altcoins will recover more quickly, right? And those should be the focus. There are going to be altcoins that bounce harder out of the bottom. One of the most common tropes you'll see online is Bitcoin will go down 10%, right? ETH will go down fucking 20. And Sol will go down, 15 or 20 or whatever. And then some shit coin that, people are long, like whatever, I don't know, PopCat, right? Goes down 50, right? And then everything bounces. Bitcoin bounces 10. ETH bounces, 10, whatever. These numbers don't really matter. But then PopCap bounces 30. And people will say, well, look, this coin bounced 30%. Bitcoin's only up 5 or 10%. But they forget that this thing went down 50% first, right? So even though some of these alts might recover off the bottom more quickly and more aggressively, they're effectively levered Bitcoin. So of course they're going to bounce harder. What you need to look at is how much did they fall first? Because if you long something at $1, right, and then it goes down to 50 cents, right, and then it bounces to 75 cents, and you go, well, shit, it bounced from 50 to 75, right? That's a 50% move. That's great if you longed it at 50 and you caught the 50% move. But if you longed it at $1, you're still down 25%, right? Whereas if Bitcoin went from $1 to 90 cents, right, and then rallied 5%, now it's at 94.50. People will say, well, look, it only went up 5%, whereas my coin went up 50%. It's like, yeah, but Bitcoin is only 5.5% off the high. You're still 25% off the high. You get it? So you're going to want to look at Bitcoin dominance, see what this does. You're going to want to look at ETH BTC, see what this does. But structurally right now, Bitcoin looks stronger. I think every time I want to long Ethereum going forward, I'm just going to long Solana. I don't know why it's taken me so long into this cycle to just start doing that, but it just seems to be better. Came down to the range lows. Again, not as weak as Ethereum that took its range lows. Nice big sweep here into demand. So I think all of these charts look bullish, and you should have a bull bias. And then if we get to 58, 59K, that's where we exercise some caution. We see if we can reclaim that low. If we do, we trade higher. If we reject, I'm not necessarily shorting, but I'd be hopefully looking for a higher low. Can we trade lower and go down into here? Absolutely. Obviously, I think there's a lot of macro stuff going on. Iran, Israel. We had Japan imploding, the Nikkei, or Nikkei, whatever you call it, with a monstrous down move. I think the biggest down move ever, they were saying, but it's had a huge rally out of the bottom, erased a lot of that down move already. You look at the equities here, right? Like this looks like at least a temporary swing low, depending how these weekly candles close. But if they close anything like this right now, I think everything is due for a bounce, and that's good for crypto. Dollar looks quite weak, right? Failed to make a breakout of the range, put in a lower high. It's now put in a lower low. So this could maybe get a little pop, but then maybe sell back off to the range lows. The yearly chart on the dollar looks horrendous, right? Looking like a massive failure here to get over this level on the dollar. Right? So there's that level. We're now trading back below that prior year's high from way back here, 2016. So all pretty good things. I know there's a lot of carnage. Obviously, if you have been in crypto a long time, seeing stuff go down 10, 20%, 30% in a day is not new to you. If you're here for COVID, Like we saw 0 on the order book. If you're here for FTX, right, you've seen these big crashes. They can happen. It's part of trading. It's part of crypto. No matter how many you see, they're still as jarring every time. It's still shocking. Obviously, the more you get used to it, hopefully, right? I mean, I was literally out golfing. I figured Sunday night, I can maybe go play 9 holes. Nope, the world's imploding. Or I probably would have tried to just bid some spot here. Not leverage because the books are so thin. Things were moving so quickly. It's a little sketchy. But spot, we're down 25% in like 2 days, in 48 hours, 25% in a day on ETH. Seems like a pretty no-brainer spot buy. Obviously, that's very hard to do. Take some balls. It's scary. But the more you see these types of moves, you learn that generally those buys, if you're patient, they usually pay off. And I mean, you didn't have to wait more than a single day for any of those spot buys yesterday to be up a bunch already. But if you're new, the key during these types of moments is just to survive, right? Try to not take any huge outsized losses. Don't chase anything. Don't try and catch the knife with leverage. So many people got smoked trying to figure out when this dip was going to end. They bought here. Maybe they round tripped it here. It's very difficult to do. If you're new, your goal is survival, right? Stay in the game, have money to deploy. When things start to look bullish again, which they are now you can get back involved, especially once we get more signs that a bottom may in fact be in. You still have cash to play. You're still looking good, right? So just survive. If you took a big loss, I've been there, trust me, many, many times. The key is to not revenge trade. Don't go and try and chase it and make it all back quickly. You might end up making things worse. And God forbid you do something silly like blow yourself up or, end up, leaving the space completely or trying to hurt yourself or something crazy. Do not do that. It's just money. You can make it back. There's going to be more opportunity. So do not give up. Reach out to your friends, right? In crypto, your buddies in group chats, DM me. We're here to support each other in these kind of moments because it can be really hard. And sometimes you don't feel like you can talk to your, regular homies because they don't know what you're going through. They don't know that maybe your net worth just evaporated 50% overnight. So reach out to your friends who can commiserate with you, stay strong, stay in the game. That's really what it's all about. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really got. Just wanted to get a really quick update here. Altcoins still look kind of rough. Again, check BTC dominance. But I think that this is looking promising for a bottom. And now what we kind of want to see is, a little bit more information. So do we get, a move up to here and then maybe a higher low and then, we're back in the range, something like this for a bottom, or maybe we sweep the low one more time, but that would look amazing for bottoming structure, reclaim 60K, and it probably should be off to the races. And then we're all happy again. I mean, it went from doom and gloom and everyone was losing their mind to everyone's posting shit coins again and saying, what alts are you buying on the dip? You have to be very careful on social media in times like this because there's going to be people today posting, what are you buying the dip on? I bought the dip on all these coins. And it's like, motherfucker, you were telling me to buy the dip 2 weeks ago when we were at 70K and those coins that you told me to buy the dip on are down 70%. What money am I supposed to buy the dip on? And what you'll learn is a lot of these people aren't actually buying the dip. They're just saying they are, or they, maybe they sold and now they're rebuying. You don't actually know what's going on. Maybe they're being paid to say that. You don't know. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. What matters is your P&L. That's what you need to focus on. The game is about survival. Who cares if you miss the bottom or whatever? And some guys like, I bought the dip and it's already up and the bottom's in forever and you fucking missed it. There's going to be lots of opportunities to get in, lots of opportunities to make money. Take it slow, survive, protect your bread. I do think things look really good. A lot better than they did yesterday, especially if things close really favorably. However, we're not completely out of the woods. A lot of coins lost structure. A lot of altcoins are down a ton, lost structure. There is still a lot of global macro uncertainty. So you don't need to, just because someone's like, the bottom's in and I bought it, you better get back in before we go to all-time high, doesn't mean you should just full port your stack. What if they're wrong, right? You don't know what they're doing, what their money is, or how they're making it, or where they're putting it. You got to focus on you and yours. Don't rush it, right? Be calculated. Don't throw risk management out the window. The goal is survival and longevity. That's how you're going to get rich in this game. All right, guys. So hope this helps. I'll be back with another video later this week with CBS. Joint stream should be a lot of fun. I'll talk to y'all then. Peace.